Want to be a fluffer or anything like that? It's like your job.
Isn't that for like your balls and stuff?
No,
like,
females have fluffers.
So it's male and female?
Get them good to go. Yeah.
Just like brush them off?
Because the clitori can actually be like enlarged, like a little female bone.
So would you want to be in the porn or do you want to be a fluffer?
It peeks out like a man in a little boat, you know? It's
like a little turtle?
Like a wizard.
Lube, they're good.
Like a wizard sleeve or fluffer you're jerking off. They have female fluffers. I've seen
I thought it was
behind the
dudes.
scenes porn.
Well, what do they
Dudes get up there,
It's kind of
get them
put a
going,
little shine on it.
reheat the oven a little bit. I think that would be nice. Fluffing or starring? What about starring? Because like
stream. How's everybody doing this morning? Hello? Greetings. Okay. So, first of all, want to say good job on the lack of Twitter fighting. I know it's because you're addicted to Arc Raiders and not some enlightened path. That is 1000% accurate. Although I gotta say I've hit a little bit of a wall with Arc Raiders, just like a little bit. Where now I want to get up to 5 million stash size so I can get some extra points next season, but kind of feels like I'm going through the motions. But yeah, I have not been arguing on Twitter for the last couple of weeks, basically just because of Arc Raiders. Yeah, true. So, I got my blood work back, you guys, and I knew something was amiss. I fucking knew it. I was so sure. There were just these weird things that were happening. I was sleeping in past the time I normally sleep in. Just like really fatigued. Like I'm fucking kind of tired right now. Like I'm just gonna power through and we'll wake up eventually at some point. But like even this morning I woke up probably like an hour and a half or an hour after I normally wake up, and I went to bed early last night. So something's going on. And it's not just getting old, I don't think. But they found abnormal levels in my thyroid. Which, lo and behold, can make you feel very tired. Don't know what's going on with that. Don't know what causes that, but it's a little frustrating too, because like the only thing he can do is monitor it. So I'm going to go back again in 3 months to get my blood drawn again. I don't know if I have to start the streams a little bit normally than I usually do. That's not ideal. But yeah. Actually, what kind of salt do you eat? Just regular salt, like the pink salt. I don't know, it's pink. I think like pink Himalayan salt. No elevated levels of soy that they detected. But yeah, good morning, guys. How was everybody's weekend? Did you guys enjoy Stranger Things? I thought it was good. I see a lot of people talking shit about Stranger Things. I thought it was good. I quite enjoyed that 4th episode. I liked the whole season. I'm also seeing some people on my timeline that are saying that Pluribus is mid. I don't know if everybody's just trying to be contrarian these days. But that's fucking ridiculous. I don't know about iodine. I got a full blood work done. And I didn't see anything in the results about iodine. So I assume I'm fine when it comes to that. Could be wrong though. Pluribus is mid is a fucking wild take. I've seen a couple people on my feed that are like, yeah, it's not that good. Did you catch the streamer awards for some reason? What? No. I don't understand that award show. I just don't get it. I don't understand it. It seems to me, on paper, it's just a group of streamers that all live in Los Angeles and they all get in a room and they all congratulate each other. It's very strange to me. Like, what's the appeal to watching that? I don't get it. Yeah. I'm going into blood work done for my thyroid issues. Never done it before. How does it work? I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea. I had the same fatigue problem, and low iodine can affect your thyroid. Okay. Okay, we can look into that. They just draw extra blood. I was looking up like the various treatments for thyroid problems, and sometimes they go in surgically and remove some of your thyroid. Sometimes it's medication. Yeah. There's like not one singular treatment. Okay. We got a few videos to get to today, guys. Benny Johnson. Thank you so much for 5 months. Appreciate you, buddy. All right, first thing I want to watch is Candace Owens and Tim Pool are fighting. You guys. There's trouble in the right-wing space. But apparently they're publicly beefing now. Which is fun. This is a conversation Tim Pool had on his podcast with Milo and George Santos like a few days ago. And then Candace Owens actually responded to that. But it's example number 55 of the right kind of devouring itself right now.
My point is, she is doing a soap opera where she is triggering the emotions of women. It's female coded. I didn't say it was wrong. I didn't say it was morally wrong. I said this is a show for women. It's intentional.
You absolutely have said it's morally wrong.
No.
Milo, absolutely have said that her behavior is morally wrong.
What I have said is,
like, that's obviously the impression you've left, but you've said
what I
very
have said is
statement.
specific about how she is telling people to pull their funding from Turning Point.
Yeah.
And she's destroying the coalition. Democrats are going to win in the midterms because of what she is doing.
Who cares?
And she said,
no.
Democrats are going to win because of Candace Owens? What is this analysis? West Wendigo, thank you so much for the tier 1 membership.
I care.
Is anybody in this room still on Team Epstein? Because I'm not. Wait.
I don't think there's a political
I am terribly
solution.
sorry. I am not on Team Epstein. I don't give a...
But my Republican congressman isn't Trump. It's the midterms. It's not Trump.
How does your local Republican congressman affect your life? He doesn't.
He does. I actually would prefer it not if the Democrats
Midlife Maddie, thank you so much for the gifted sub.
let's win the midterms and then start committees and then start arresting media personalities and doing what they did impeaching Trump a gazillion
we knew
times.
that when we elected the guy. We knew that was coming. It's either coming now or it's coming in 2 years or it's coming in 4 years. I mean, what's your point?
It doesn't have to come.
Just not now?
No, it doesn't have to come if we stop this self-inflicted.
Oh yeah, sure. No, there's no.
No, these are self-inflicted.
You're absolutely
wounds,
right.
and
There'll
they're
never
totally
be another
avoidable.
Democrat president, so that's never
I'm
going to
not
happen.
saying that, Milo. I'm not saying that.
That was baked in when
Milo,
when
we
people re-elected Trump.
don't have to forego the entirety of Congress to the Democrats only so that they can spend the next 2 years after the midterms
because they're so effective and useful and they're doing all these great things for America. And then I mean, really,
They're not.
If you look,
Trust me, I was one of them. They're not.
If you look at the I mean this with the greatest of respect because I like you personally, but you're the kind of person that gets elected to Congress. Like, stop it. Like, stop pretending these are people that we need.
What is happening, you guys? I mean, stuff gets a little dysfunctional within the Democratic Party coalition, but it's never like this, right? Like, it's never this bad, you know? The level of dysfunction and chaos that's going on over there is just something you don't really see within the Democratic Party. Not like this, you know?
You know,
I think
you managed.
But I'm the first one to say that.
And that's why you're on a path to redemption that has saved you, and that means that
I'm the first one to say that it's a circus.
It means that I want to be a friend, and now Marjorie has joined you in that very bravely. I think it's a great shame, but I get it.
It's a great loss in my opinion.
It's a loss, and I get it. But prior to you two, I mean, you could get elected just inventing a story about yourself, a backstory about yourself that nobody even bothers checking. If they do, the voters don't care. That's what Congress is.
But
And that's why it works with Candace Owens' stories, because she's just fabricating stories and it works.
Where the fuck did she come from? She's been sitting there the whole time.
Not you, not you as well.
I'm sorry. It's just that in the beginning,
Et tu, Naomi.
I'm sorry. In the beginning, I would have totally defended her and asked her questions. But at this point, I feel like she's attacking the family of Charlie Kirk.
It's like
woman jump scare, yeah.
Attacking his entire legacy.
I'm sorry. Like
every opportunity that comes up every year, I just desperately beg.
Is she American? She sounds Irish. Is that what she sounds? Feels Irish.
For a reason to go live in a van down by the river. I'm getting inundated with messages from prominent conservative personalities thanking me for calling her out, but are too scared.
They're being paid.
They're too
they're
scared
too
to say
scared to
anything.
post.
They're not.
No, they're privately.
They're being paid.
People are privately messaging me.
Sorry, are you saying that people are never paid to stay quiet?
What, do you think people are being paid to stay quiet?
Yes, because of course they are. Because I mean, there are all kinds of reasons why you want someone.
You think Candace is paying them off so they don't?
No, I don't mean Candace. I mean the other side. If you know somebody's going to be counterproductive to your mission, you pay them to shut up. Everybody who has run a school board election knows that.
Wait, hold on.
Because some people's
Democrats are paying conservatives not to.
No, I'm talking about conservatives or people at Turning Point may well. Look, anybody who's run a school board election knows that there are certain people whose endorsement is damaging.
So explain what's going on. There's conservatives who are thanking me for calling out Candace who won't do it themselves. Someone's paying them?
I'm not saying all of them, but in many cases that may in many cases.
I mean, sincerely, who do you think who would be paying them?
Okay, so
Milo, who's paying them?
If you put it this way,
Milo, can you? You're spinning. No, you're spinning.
No, I'm going to give an answer.
Spinning.
I'm going to give an answer. I think
the thing is like on the left, we have a few, the left, right? But like we have a few complete nut jobs. I was going to say Jimmy Dore, but do we even say he's on the left anymore? I don't even know what we say about him. We have like a few of those. But the thing is like right now with right-wing media, they're basically all like lol cows. They're basically all just completely insane.
think entities associated with or possibly
name names
directly, probably Tony.
Can we deport Milo? Is he like a legal resident in the United States? I don't even know. Is he a citizen?
Point. No. Because they are losing the war against Candace. They're losing.
So why would
they're paying people?
They're
to
That's what Turning Point does. That's what it is.
Wait, hold on.
That's what it is.
Okay, wait, hold on. Wouldn't Turning Point pay people to call out Candace?
That's
like, I don't even know what he's saying here. He's saying that Turning Point pays conservatives to be quiet?
What? No, because if you know that a particular person is going to be counterproductive. Listen, when Nick Fuentes wanted to damage Trump in the last election, I said there's only one way you can damage Trump: endorse him. It's the only way you can damage him, right? When you know that somebody's endorsement is counterproductive to your cause, of course you might pay them to shut up, and it happens all the time. I've done it. I've done it in congressional campaigns. I've done it in two national congressional.
Wait. So prominent conservative personalities
are paid to shut up.
But these are mainstream, normal, prominent people.
Oh, come on.
So look,
you know
this point,
I'll mention this. I'll give a shout out to House and Habit, who shouted me out too. But I don't want to call out anyone by name who's quietly saying I'm not going to say anything.
House and Habit, who, by the way, I'm catching strays from this like crazy old bitch now as well, who's like, just very personal, very physical comments, like very. I can look a bit crazy in interviews right now because I have a lot of health problems, which causes various things. But like she's a nasty, vindictive, personal bitch, and she, or at least let me rephrase that and say that her behavior has been that lately. Because
who is this person that you're like so concerned?
She's kind of emerging. She had 60, 70,000 follower, kind of like on the up and up, right? But isn't that interesting in itself? Like, what was her blog about? What was her blog about?
It's like women's gossip drama stuff, isn't it? Yeah.
What is the hat? What?
Yeah. So
what is this hat? He's wearing like a what are those Russian hats called? Those really furry like Russian hats. What are these called again?
So you just proved our point about Candace.
Not the kind of person that you would expect to. Anyway, my point is this. I've done it in two congressional campaigns. There are people who you just don't want to endorse your candidate.
Look, there's truth to that. There's truth to that.
Thank you for saying that.
Look,
Thank you for saying that.
I'm not.
You know that.
I know because I've been.
Wait, now I'm remembering the Destiny Milo debate. Do you guys remember that debate? How fucking insane that was.
Has to stay out of races.
You've been the guy that's been asked not to talk.
Yes, and that's very true. There is,
and I'm not.
I have a question.
I'm not accusing you of ever being paid not to talk.
Milo, I've never been paid. I wish I was.
And I won't ask
Milo, I have
you,
a question. I have a question.
It's mink.
What is what you're wearing?
It's mink.
Oh, the hat.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
So right now, I'm looking at two things.
All right.
Whatever. Let's step outside of the Candace thing a little
Did Milo go on PKA? I don't think I saw that one.
bit and be a little bit more broad. I have an opinion that the political fight we are in, we are facing defeat, and
We won everything.
in the midterms.
We won everything.
Yes, and we're about to lose everything.
And we've got, okay, well, hold on. Let me just get through this, right? Because we're looking at retirements.
It's been a decade of winning.
So
That's not true. That's literally not true.
the midterms are coming up, and Trump has got several marginal victories. Some of these things are not getting through, but let me just. I see prominent conservative personalities are refusing to speak out for what they claim they believe. They're thanking me for speaking out.
You're sticking up for these guys when I'm saying is that they're normal political operatives. You're saying that they're spineless cowards.
Indeed. Right.
Well, then
okay, I'll take.
They're even
though.
worse people.
So the question for
Dark Kenzu, thank you so much for 15 months. Appreciate it, buddy.
Is-
For they were getting paid.
the question for me is
The Brandon Tatum, who keeps saying, I'm not getting paid by Israel. Well, then you're an idiot.
I never got paid by Israel either.
my question is, Milo, what is my reason for being involved in any of this at all? Honest question.
Because this is what you do
Money. I think it's money.
for a living. And because where the center of gravity is, ideologically and commercially too, it affects your business, affects your life, affects your children, affects your wife, affects everything about you. Why wouldn't you be interested? It'd be weird if you weren't.
No. Why?
Does Tim Pool have kids? Does he have a wife? Did that change? I think he has a girlfriend. Does he have a wife, or was he just speaking generally?
Why would I?
Silly question.
Why should I be this person? Why?
Tim Pool has a kid now? Wait, what? No. When did that happen? He has one kid. What the fuck? When did that happen? Oh, he has a wife named Allison, who's the chief operating officer at Timcast Media. Allison Neubauer. Oh, it's her? I think I've seen her before. I think I've seen her on the show. Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Why don't I?
Why do you have the opinions you have? Why do you have the position you have?
No. How about I just go work behind the scenes at a PAC or a media company and just
because the function you're performing is valuable and in fact, in my view, essential. Because this is one of the shows that has such a broad guest base, almost utterly unique in media. The only thing that really comes close is real time, and they have that because of the HBO prestige, glitz, glam, and everything. And they can get. Although a lot of conservatives.
Do you think Tim Pool fucks with the beanie on? Ooh, that's a good question. That's a good question. You know what I like about you guys? You guys ask the right questions. I'll bet you he does. I'll bet you he does. I'll bet you the beanie stays on. I feel reasonably confident, like 60%, 65%.
Conservatives won't go on it. They do come here though, and you have.
Wait, did he wear his beanie at the wedding? Stop. Ugh, I can't find any YouTube results for Tim Pool wedding. Uh-oh, what's going on? And my search results are getting... Why does it look like that? Oh, there it is. Okay. That's not Tim Pool. I don't know. I don't know who the fuck that guy is. Tim Pool wedding venue. I don't know if they have any public pictures of the wedding. Oh, wait. No, but that wasn't his wedding, right? I remember this picture, but I don't think that was from his wedding. He did show up to the White House in a beanie, though. He did. That's true. But I remembered this picture. Is that Kayleigh McEnany? Is that what her name is? I don't know if there's any pictures of his wedding.
You have maybe the widest, most varied, and most interesting and distinctive guest base in all of politics. Of course, it's in your interest to. I'm not saying you're doing this, by the way, because I wouldn't accuse you of that, because I don't believe that about you. I don't think you're that kind of person. But it would be in your interests to be anti-Candace.
I don't think so. Actually, I think it's
in everyone's commercial.
No.
It's in everyone's commercial interest to be anti-Candace because everybody else is going down and hers are going up. It's that simple.
I don't think so. I think you're wrong because the base seems to be side.
Wait, is this real? Is this real? Is that a real picture? You never know these days. You can never tell what's real and what's not these days. Because I don't think he shaves his dome. I think he would look better if he did. He should just shave his dome and stop wearing the fucking beanie. Why is it? Why? Why? Why do the beanie thing for years? Not necessary. Just shave it, man. Just shave your head. Grow out a beard. It's fine.
Fighting with Candace, so counterproductive.
No, I actually think criticizing Candace has hurt our viewership.
That's my point.
We actually got cancellations on orders. My morning show subscribers have gone down. Yeah, I've lost 3,000 followers on X. I hate
Shouldn't
politics.
you join the winning side?
No, I
mean, every big account is losing followers on Twitter, because it looks like they are like actively purging millions of bot accounts. Did Hutch stream Death Stranding 2? I did a 24-hour stream for that game, yeah.
I'd rather just go live in a van down by the river.
The last I'll ever do was for that game, yeah.
Isn't that bad though? It's like, if I don't win, I'm out of here. I'm out of this.
No. It's more like,
come on.
I think he.
So, anyways, so he's beefing with Candace Owens. She responded to that. Candace Owens is having just a prolonged public psychotic break.
In other news and emotional manipulation, Tim Pool was having some sort of a breakdown. I don't really know what it's about. I don't know why he's tweeting about me all the time. I hope he gets well, but I do want to address this absurd point that he is making.
She's so petty, you guys.
About why we shouldn't be speaking about Charlie Kirk's assassination. Take a listen.
You can come and you can burn everything I have to the ground and I will happily live in a van down by the river. I don't care to be number one. I don't need to be number one. What I care about is what is true and what will help this country and what works. And she is a scumbag, okay? And she's getting worse every day. And she crossed the line. She continually crosses the
So if you guys are a little confused, Candace Owens basically is like explicitly accusing Erica Kirk of being involved in Charlie Kirk's death. You know what's going to happen one of these days, guys? You know what's going to happen is one of these days, one of her insane conspiracy theories is going to be right. Like, you know, and when that happens, it's going to embolden her and all of her followers to think that everything that she's saying is right.
The line every day, insinuating the Turning Point literally killed the guy who made them all rich. And I hear this in the streets, and at a certain point, I'm like, holy shit, we're gonna lose the midterms. We're gonna lose the midterms, then we're gonna lose in 2028, and it's because she's a piece of shit. Because instead of saying,
he's so animated. Like, Candace Owens is not going to be the reason that they lose the midterms. The reason that they lose the midterms is, number one, there's just a normal pendulum swing. Number two, the economy. And number three, Donald Trump is just fucking chaos. He's just pure chaos.
Guys, let's come together and figure out how to work together. She says the stupidest, retarded crap. And now everybody's running around divided and broken. For what reason? For literally.
And it's Candace Owens' fault? Specifically her fault?
What reason?
Because they killed Charlie Kirk in broad daylight and we don't care about your stupid midterms. We just don't care. Like, they really, this is how they view Charlie Kirk. That's why I say, was anything in his life real? Tim Pool is going off right now because he's like, it's not the time. You guys need to be mules. You need to keep voting in the very corrupt people that are lying to your faces right now about what happened to Charlie Kirk. It is not the time because it is your job to get people into office. This is what I mean when I suggest that nothing in Charlie Kirk's life was real. So he really thinks he's doing something there. And actually what he's doing is proving my point. These people just saw Charlie as a means to an end, okay? As a political horse that they could ride. And so for whatever reason, they got tired riding him. And now they're angry because they also were going to whip the horse, the ghost of Charlie Kirk, and say, we still need you to shore up votes. And it is inconvenient that people who actually cared about Charlie and saw him as a, I don't know, human being, want to know why he was publicly executed in front of us and why we're being lied to about everything. That is why Tim Pool is upset, because midterms, it's going to be my fault, not the fault of the feds for feeding us BS. It's not going to be the fault of Turning Point USA for lying and thinking that they're brighter than us and seemingly not caring about the investigation. It's not going to be the fault of, I don't know, maybe actual politicians like Donald Trump, who's a president of the United States, and look us in the face and said,
Candace Owens to me has always been a little bit crazy, but man, it is really dramatically spun out of control, I think. I legitimately think she is having an ongoing mental health crisis. I think she is having a catastrophic psychotic break. Like, I don't think she's grifting. I think she's legitimately having a psychotic break. And it's like, it's so dark because her audience kind of serve as like a stand-in for like a normal person. What an enabler is to a normal person. That's her audience of like millions of people. So sometimes when somebody's having like a mental health crisis, they'll have like enablers in their lives. But most people don't have enormous platforms. They don't have audiences to validate just the worst things. And she has this massive audience, and it seems like the crazier she becomes, the more she descends into a state of just delusional paranoia. She gets more attention, she gets more praise, she gets more validation, she gets more money. So it's just this like really sick parasocial enabling situation. No, she's not having a psychotic break, Hutch. She is making a bag. Don't give her that out. She's a glorified anti-Semitic WWE heel. I mean, I don't know. To me, like, my grifty spidey sense doesn't go off with her. Like, somebody doesn't have to be a grifter. You know what I mean? I think she is legitimately a little bit crazy and losing her mind a little bit. The conspiracy babble is just giving a certain audience what they want to hear. I don't know though. I don't know. I think she's a true believer. That is my sense of it. Why not both? I mean, it could be a little bit of both, but I do think she's a real believer in the shit that she's saying.
Are we still talking about the Epstein files? No, that's not his fault. The fault is Candace Owens for wanting to figure out who murdered her friend. Don't you guys get it? Like, we're just an algorithm. Why do you care so much about humans? Like, why are you a human? Like, if somebody in your family dies, you need to focus on midterms. Okay? That is the point of a Tim Pool show. It doesn't matter what you are going through at home. I want you guys to hear.
She isn't psychotic. Listen to how she answers
When
these
you
questions.
say you believe that Charlie Kirk was...
Wait, what the fuck? When was this interview? Um, 30 minutes. Full CNN interview with with Candace Owens.
Happy Friday. Get the gossip and her theories about what still exists.
You can find the whole thing.
Shout out to all of you all. And that's going to make this cold.
Where did they find this? Where did they find this whole interview? I can't find it on YouTube, but I can find somebody else who like rebroadcasted it. And now I want to watch that. Forgive the what all this is. This Thanksgiving, whatever all this is.
Still exists. That's what I'm telling you.
In our government.
At the higher up, yeah, absolutely.
Candace Owens has a lot of ideas about how the world really works. Her podcast is drawing millions of viewers for celebrity gossip and her theories about Charlie Kirk and Jeffrey Epstein. But some of those ideas are anti-Semitic conspiracy theories that I recognize from covering white nationalism for 10 years.
All right, guys, happy Monday. Happy Friday. Get ready because we are going on a journey.
This summer, you've had 3 heads of state respond to you.
Yeah.
Right? You've been sued by the president of France.
I have.
By your retelling, President Trump called you and asked you to lay off calling the president of France's wife a man so it could finish Ukraine negotiations.
Pick up the phone. It is President Donald J. Trump. He is calling me.
And then recently...
Did you check the CNN website for the video? Let me see. CNN.com. God, man, she really is a crazy person, man. How do you search stuff on CNN? Oh, here we go. No, I'm not seeing it on the website, so I don't know where they got it, but yeah.
The Prime Minister of Israel maybe indirectly responded to your and other claims that in the wake of Charlie Kirk's death, he was distancing himself from Israel or softening in his support.
I would only dispute the last claim. Okay. I don't know what he was responding to, really.
We're talking to her now because she's having a huge impact on political discourse. Powerful people are responding to her, and more people than ever are listening to her.
Candace Owens do be making sense.
Over the last month, she has at times been the #1 trending podcast, the 4th most popular news podcast.
I swear every time she has a podcast drop, I'm just like mind blown. Y'all may think Candace is crazy, but she's onto something.
For years, Owens was known mostly within conservative groups aimed at young people.
I actually know someone who went down the Candace Owens rabbit hole, unfortunately. You know, somebody that was like very, very kind to me in my life at a very crucially important time, and lost them to Candace Owens and a bunch of other stuff during COVID. Like, I know someone who, yeah, basically went down like the kind of Joe Rogan trajectory during COVID. Was it your sponsor? No. My sponsor in NA, he's just one of these guys that's into like Lex Friedman and the Huberman guy. He's into like tech podcasts. But he's not like a QAnon kind of like a crazy person. Oh, you know what? Here, I have something for the anti-AI people. Demergia, thank you. Did I get you for 91 months? Thank you so much, buddy. Here's some solidarity with my anti-AI Twitch people. This shit right here, you guys. This is what I was talking about the other day. Like, this shit is all over Twitter, bro. This AI slop-like engagement farming. Like, this is AI. Watch.
Female Marine did 3 tours in Iraq, came home to nothing. Judge made her cry.
Sergeant Johnson, you served 3 tours in Iraq and earned a Purple Heart. You came home with PTSD and wound up on the streets for the theft of food.
Oh, wait, I can't play that because of the fucking DMCA. So it's like the same exact video, but with the guy. It was like a guy, the same like motion with her hand, and then ends the video doing the fucking salute. Watch, does it end it with a salute? No, it doesn't. Oh, okay. With the guy, he goes like this. He's like crying and doing the salute or whatever. These videos are just all over the internet now. They're spreading exponentially. Now I'm in my head wondering if we're gonna see a social media platform emerge that's like strictly no AI allowed. Like, I wonder if there's gonna be a market for that. I feel like there already is a market for that. Like, if you could create a social media platform that functioned very similarly to, you know, Threads or Facebook or Twitter, but then you market it as like no AI allowed, I feel like a lot of people would sign up for that. Hutch, making fun of Marines is never a good look, even if it's AI. Okay, relax. That'd be healthy, I think. Not sure how you keep AI off of it, though. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like when I asked you guys, is it theoretically possible to come up with a tool that you could, with 100% certainty, tell if something was AI or not? And the consensus seems to be no. The consensus seems to be no. That if that's not the case now, as the videos get better, 100% certainty doesn't exist. But that just seems so strange to me. You're telling me that we can't devise or we can't invent some kind of software that would be able to pick up on the kind of like algorithmic thinking that goes into AI videos? Like, you really couldn't. There's really not a tool that you can come up with? Maybe that would have to come from like regulation, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. There's just no way to police this. There's just no way to police this. Maybe this is the slow death of social media. Because I don't know about you guys, because again, I'm seeing the in terms of the AI slop, the engagement farming, trying to fool people, you know, like, here's a bear hanging out with a dog. Like, it's gone up exponentially just in the last month for me. It's everywhere. It's been a problem for some months now, several months at least. I mean, all throughout 2025, it's been a problem, I would say, but it's like exponentially more in the last month, the AI slop. Grassroots with $20. Thank you so much, buddy. Ryan Mullally is interested in a conversation with you at some point on a topic of your choice, if you're interested. Isn't that the lawyer? Ryan, how do you spell his name? Mullally? All I know about that person is that they're a lawyer and they don't get along with Pisco, right? You're better off debating AI. Anyways, I feel like I don't know, if it keeps getting exponentially worse in terms of the AI slop. Or you know what? Actually, you know what? I take it back. Maybe it's not the death of social media, but it's definitely the death of the For You tab. Because if you can just make sure that everything that shows up on your feed is just from the people that you follow, then all of a sudden, so long as you don't follow people who post AI slop, then you're not going to see that stuff, right? But the For You tab is totally fucking compromised at this point. It's so bad on fucking Twitter. And it's always been bad, but it's gotten so much worse. 6 months from now, Hutch will make an announcement that he will only be doing a show twice a week. The rest of the week will be done by AI deepfake Hutch. No, stop.
Her first big job was with Turning Point in 2017. Last March, she was fired from the Daily Wire amid a dispute with colleagues over Israel and charges of anti-Semitism. She launched her independent podcast a few months later, and her conspiratorial deep dives, where she sometimes builds guilt through association between very loosely connected people, companies, or whole countries, have drawn people deeper down.
Fatal Flaw, thank you so much for 84 months. Appreciate it, buddy.
Down the Candace rabbit hole. We don't know now, but we know, you know? We don't know, but we know. Since Charlie Kirk's death, Owens has had some of her most popular episodes, as she's claimed law enforcement is covering up a conspiracy.
Rest now, brother. We have the watch.
Kirk's legacy has become a battleground for the fight within MAGA over Israel. Owens has been the principal driver of this story.
Cash Patel, bro. What a guy.
With her claims that Kirk was angry about pressure he felt from pro-Israel allies and donors to disinvite Israel critics from his conferences.
You've talked about conflicts with donors.
They were threatening him. There's no other way to say it. And it's, I think, shameful that some of the Turning Point people don't speak out more about it. We all know what was going on behind the scenes, and Charlie was being threatened financially. He felt he was being morally threatened. He felt they were trying to control who he could have speak at his conferences.
About 48 hours before Charlie Kirk died, Charlie informed people at Turning Point, as well as Jewish donors and a rabbi, that he had no choice but to abandon.
You know what I think is a really ethical use of AI? Like, that is like the perfect use, basically. The perfect use case is arc raiders. No. Surely you guys are not going to have an issue with arc raiders, right? Arc raiders gives you the... Yes, I'm serious. Wait, what is your issue with the arc raiders thing? There's no way. There's no way you're pissy about the arc raiders thing. So the quality, I think, of using AI for the NPC characters is not great, I would say. But they did that the right way. They paid actors. They've paid real voice actors for the right to use their voice. But then they also have a feature, which I think is a pretty cool feature. They also have a feature where you can change your voice input. So you speak into the mic, but what the people in proximity chat hear is this AI voice, but they pay the voice actors for the right to, model their voice in AI. That seems super ethical. But even using it for the NPCs is fine too. It's just the quality of the dialogue is not great. They recorded the lines for the cinematics, but the game has context text to speech that was trained by the voice actors. Gotcha. They used AI appropriately. AI still sucks. LOL. James Earl Jones allowed his voice for AI Vader. Granted, that didn't turn out well, but here we are. Did James Earl Jones die?
And in the pro-Israel cause outright. Did he also express that he wanted to bring me, Candace Owens, back because he was standing up for himself? And then did he, just 48 hours later, conveniently catch a bullet to the throat before our onstage reunion could happen?
Owens posted group chat messages from Kirk saying a Jewish donor had pulled a $2 million donation, and he felt no choice but to leave the pro-Israel cause. Turning Point confirmed the texts were real and said Kirk disagreed with Owens on Israel. There's no evidence donors or Israel had anything to do with Kirk's death, and Owens has not claimed that Israel killed Kirk. But she has spent a lot of time talking about donors and Israel and betrayal in the context of his death.
So what are we to make of that?
When you say you believe that Charlie Kirk was betrayed by someone close to him, what do you mean?
I think that in the coming weeks, there's going to be a lot of financial reports that are coming out. And
So again, just to be clear, in the last couple of weeks, it seems as though Candace Owens has been just much more directly and explicitly accusing Erica Kirk of being complicit in Charlie Kirk's murder.
Foremost, do not believe that Tyler Robinson killed Charlie Kirk. I want to be very clear on that. Whether he was involved, I think the answer is yes. I think that's obvious. And
your basis for saying he didn't act.
Grassroots Hegemon with another $20. Holy moly. Thank you so much, buddy. The really cool use for AI that it rocks at is processing visual images like x-rays, medical scans, and I've heard rumor Gemini is actually really good at data logging. I don't know, for those of you guys that are playing Arc Raiders, they're Oh, Denham's posted a video about her lawsuit that's an hour long. We're going to be watching that. But during the third, so like they did a 3-episode sort of behind the scenes series for Arc Raiders that are like 20 to 30 minutes in length. Really cool, actually. Gives you a glimpse into the sort of progression of the technology that went into that game. And one of the guys that worked on the game actually had a master's in biology, and he was talking about how there were 2 members of Google that got the Nobel Peace Prize and had something to do with an AI that they developed in medical research. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Was it 2024 Nobel Prize? Oh, DeepMind. There it is, DeepMind. This morning, co-founder and CEO of Google DeepMind and Isomorphic Labs, Sir Demi, is that how you say his name? Hassabis, and Google DeepMind director Dr. John Jumper were co-awarded the 2024 Nobel Prize in Chemistry for their work on developing AlphaFold, a groundbreaking AI system that predicts the 3D structure of proteins from their amino acid sequences. I need somebody smarter than me to communicate the application for such technology. How would that benefit like medical technology? AI has long shown incredible potential for scientific research, and AlphaFold was proof of concept as more scientists adopt AI for use in everything from building data to simulating experiments, drug design, modeling complexity, discovering novel solutions for extant problems, and building upon existing knowledge. We will continue to see foundational scientific breakthroughs in the years ahead. But what exactly is this technology? Hold on. Somebody asked me the other day, like name one good thing about AI. Why? Okay, I'm gonna let this play out.
Act alone is what?
I don't know, maybe the weird Fed messages that were concocted out of thin air that had no timestamp and were written like they were speaking in 1822, among other things. Their lack of an ability to answer any basic questions about what took place.
Do you have any proof that the messages were made up? Because that would be easily proven.
Yeah, but they didn't put timestamps on them, and Discord came out and said they didn't exist.
This was supposedly text messages, not Discord messages. It's my understanding from the indictment.
I actually did not read that they were text messages.
The indictment calls them text messages.
What would it be like the feds are like on a computer, like typing it out back and forth?
That's exactly what it is. The feds made up the text messages.
But you don't have anyone from like the FBI telling you that, or law enforcement?
Leaks.
Okay.
No.
Has anyone leaked to you?
And Tyler Robinson.
But has anyone said to you, even off the record, like, yeah, we faked these?
I have very strong sources everywhere on both sides, from Lance to Robinson's family to federal government, and I am making the statement that those text messages were made up and that they did not come from Tyler Robinson.
Okay. Well, I look forward to seeing the evidence of that.
Sure. Because when we keep talking about evidence, it's like, who's going to present that evidence? Like the mainstream media? Like who are you expecting to come out?
That would be a hot story.
No, it wouldn't be, because, you know.
It would be.
It wouldn't be.
If the FBI, like if I had a source telling me, like if I had proof that the FBI faked those messages, that would be an enormous story.
Yeah, I kind of feel like we live in a post-Epstein world, and we know how
What is that language?
Stories get shut down.
For years, some in MAGA believed there was a deep state cover-up protecting Jeffrey Epstein's powerful friends. In July, when the FBI said the case was over, suddenly it seemed to some supporters as if...
Okay, so because of the tools that the 2 guys from Google DeepMind developed, for which they got a Nobel Prize in 2024, there's a bunch of different applications. Scientists can understand proteins, shapes, and functions far faster than before. What used to take months or years of lab work can now be done digitally in minutes. This accelerates drug discovery, for example, designing or screening molecules that fit precisely to a protein's active site. It enables biotechnology and synthetic biology, designing new proteins for medicine, environmental cleanup, and industrial uses. It helps research into disease mechanisms. It signals a turning point where AI becomes a fundamental tool in basic science and biology, not just computing, combining machine learning with molecular biology. Well, that seems pretty neat.
If Trump wasn't fighting the cover-up, but was a part of it.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein?
Maybe recent events have changed this, but you said this summer that Epstein was your number one issue.
Mm-hmm.
Why is Epstein so important, especially in the MAGA world?
It's important because multiple people in Trump's administration came out and said, here's what we're going to do when we get into office. We're going to release everything about Epstein. And then we were gaslit about it. And so it was this major sigh, this major letdown about the promises made and the promises that weren't kept. And this particular issue is a hot button issue because it involves children. This is not a guy who you have to imagine whether or not he was guilty. He pled guilty in a plea deal with Acosta.
Owens often claims that Epstein worked for Israeli intelligence, which a former prime minister of Israel has denied. It is yet another allegation that has been driving the internet MAGA fight over Israel. But the biggest story to do that, of course, is the war in Gaza. Over the last year, a majority of young Americans have turned against Israel over the war, including many conservatives. And Owens has drawn in viewers with criticism of that war. And some of it sounds reasonable, such as objecting to the scale of destruction and human suffering, especially children. But she brings with it conspiracy theories that have roots in dark places.
The issue of Israel is dividing the MAGA base.
I don't think it is anymore. I think we're actually quite united against Israel now. Not the politicians, but the people.
If you look at polls broadly, there is a really strong generational divide.
Yeah, I think Megan said it best when she said nobody under 30 likes Israel.
I'm not disputing that.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if you can, we have different audiences, right? Help my audience understand how and why and in what way that issue is so important.
When people notice what you're doing and you gaslight people and tell them that it's not happening, and then you think that you can just finance and blackmail us into a new reality, it tends to upset people. Like, we're watching what's happening in Gaza, and you're going to keep telling us this is about October 7th, and that October 7th started on October 7th. And then when people say reasonable things, and this is kind of one of the last things that Charlie said, totally reasonable things, AIPAC should have to register under FARA, that I believe my own eyes of what's happening. And I have questions about this. And your response to that is to smear and to libel and to try to ruin people's lives. Then you shouldn't be surprised when people look at you like what you are, which is demonic.
And what do you think is happening in Gaza?
It's very clearly a Holocaust and a genocide.
A UN commission has said that it's a genocide. An association of genocide scholars has said it's a genocide. Mm-hmm. Israel says that it's acting within the bounds of the law and it's acting in self-defense after October 7th. Some of the people who agree with Israel are your old allies in the conservative movement, like Ambassador to Israel Mike Huckabee. You went on his podcast many times. Mm-hmm. He says there's no famine in Gaza. Mm-hmm. So who changed?
So anybody right after October 7th who supported Israel and their efforts, totally understandable. Like, there had to have been some sort of a reasonable response. Anybody who, October 23rd, 2 years into this, is still supporting Israel, looking at what they've done, has to be a psychopath, in my viewpoint.
So Mike Huckabee is a psychopath, in your view?
You either have to be blackmailed, you have to be fearful for your life, or you have to be a psychopath.
Asked for comment, Huckabee told CNN, "I will be praying for Candace. It's sad to see her self-destruct."
In 2018, you went to the opening of the U.S. Embassy in Jerusalem.
The interviewer has a new strain of NPR voice. To be honest with you, her voice is kind of driving me insane because it's like a forced. What's the word I'm looking for? not mumble, but what's a word to say that someone is speaking at a very, like a whisper? Yeah. It's like a whisper, like a forced whisper, and it kind of drives me insane.
Jerusalem. Your tweets from the time.
I worked for PragerU.
Your tweets are very pro-Israel from the time. You're even mocking Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez for believing that Palestine is an occupied country. So how did you come to change your mind on that?
I was completely, like I think most American citizens, since you've seen how much support for Israel has plummeted quickly, we realized how brainwashed we were, how lied to we were about what was happening in that region. And obviously in politics, my first allies, everyone that was supporting Turning Point, and then I worked for PragerU, were all Zionists. And so they were the ones that were, quote unquote, educating me about what was going on. Obviously, that was a world before October 7th. So I think my concern at that time was like Black Lives Matter in America. I didn't really care about what was happening in the Middle East. I wanted to support Trump. And so the issue itself.
Miss Evelyn Rose in Twitch says a critical mass of U.S. federal government are Zionists. Some are bots, some are religiously motivated, some are browbeat cowards, some just like death. To get out of this mess, they must be removed and replaced. I don't, I really doubt we are going to have a situation where we can replace everybody in Congress who believes that essentially like Israel has the right to exist within secure borders. That doesn't seem like a very realistic goal. I doubt that's going to happen. I do think you're going to see a lot more politicians reject AIPAC funding, reject any kind of AIPAC or AIPAC contributions. That's already happening. But as far as replacing everybody in Congress with people who think that Israel in its current state just like shouldn't exist, that doesn't seem likely. I concur, they got us by the metaphorical balls. I don't think it's because Israel has people by the balls. I think it's because there are a lot of people who genuinely, like, so for as much support as Israel has lost domestically and internationally, that doesn't mean that most people in the United States think that Israel should like dissolve itself. That's not true. Not according to any polling that I've seen. The polling that I've seen shows that people disapprove of Israel's conduct in the last couple of years, but a majority of Americans are not. They're not thinking that Israel should like no longer exist. This segment doesn't matter much, but you get why Owens is not crazy, right? When she was pressed on her sources inside the FBI, she answered with, I have leaks, not answering directly. She's tactical with her answers is my point. An actual crazy would say unquestionably yes. I mean, she's a bit, you know, she lies from time to time, I think. Not Israel, Zionists. Many Zionists are white evangelical Christians born and raised on down home apple pie consuming Americanism, first, like, what's your name again? Evelyn. Evelyn, what is your definition of Zionism? I'm just curious.
Itself felt so satellite, and then kind of the chickens came home to roost, and they were demanding that you have an opinion, that you say certain things. So I was like, oh, I better get educated about this, like really focus on that. And when I began to focus on it, I'm genuinely shocked, and I'm in equal parts ashamed that I ever supported Zionism. I think it's a demonic, Kabbalistic philosophy, and God will have his vengeance on those that are.
Did she just say the Zionism? Is that what she said? Hold on.
That you have an opinion, that you say certain things. So I was like, oh, I better get educated about this, like really focus on that. And when I began to focus on it, I'm genuinely shocked, and I'm in equal parts ashamed that I ever supported Zionism. I think it's a demonic, Kabbalistic philosophy, and
a bit much.
God will have his vengeance on those that are still supporting it.
And do you mean that literally demonic?
Demonic, literally. Demons, yeah.
As you know, you've been criticized for being anti-Semitic.
There's some overlap with Tucker Carlson there. Speaking about demons.
Well, it's not kind of weird because 4 seconds ago you were talking about how I went to Jerusalem and I worked for PragerU. So something changed. I don't think I woke up one day and decided to hate Jews.
Miss Evelyn Rose says that Zionism is support for an ethno-religious state, specifically a Jewish supremacist state in the Levant, East Mediterranean, Palestine. Well, now we're just changing the definitions of these words, man. Zionism is whatever you want it to be, I guess. I don't know. To me, the whole thing about like speaking out against Zionism because you don't support ethno-states, it's like, why in a world with like dozens of ethno-states, why does Israel get so much attention? Why is Israel specifically the one that so many people focus on? If this was really about ethno-states or whatever, there are much larger ethno-states than Israel. Why is Israel the only one that gets talked about? I just don't buy it. Edelwild, thanks so much for 19 months. Thank you so much. Appreciate it, buddy. Zionism, man. It's like, it's one of these words, bro. I feel like I'm repeating myself because I know I've said this like 5 times, but Zionism as a term was something that you didn't really hear spoken about outside of like an academic setting in the 21st century. And then just ever since October 7th and everything that happened in Gaza, that word gets thrown around so much. I saw an insane Twitter post. Did I bookmark it? Somebody was like, it was a picture of Millie Bobby Brown and that one young actor in Stranger Things who got, you know, he's Jewish, and the one who plays Will. Noah. Yeah, there we go. And the caption for the Twitter post was like, calling both of them irredeemably evil. And I was like, what the fuck? What is this about? I clicked in the thread, and the OP were calling both of them Zios. They're unrepentant Zios. I was like, oh, Jesus. This feels problematic. It's mostly used as a slur now in online spaces. It's just, no one ever used that term. And then the term just exploded after October 7th. It's so radioactive too. ContraPoints talked about it in her little essay that she posted, where it's like some people are using that term correctly, and then there's other people that are using it as a stand-in for Jews, as a way to sort of like mask their anti-Semitism, not so subtly. October 7th showed us what anti-Zionists had been saying was correct all along. October 7th showed us what anti-Zionists had been saying was correct all along. What? Do you mean the aftermath of October 7th? I'm so confused.
I hate what Israel's doing. I think Jewish people, as many who have, should use the platforms to speak out against it. If you are a person who just follows the first 5 books of my Bible, there's no way that you could support what's happening in Israel. And if you are a person who does support it, then you don't follow the first 5 books of my Bible.
Owen sometimes deflects criticism that she dabbles in anti-Semitism by saying Israel supporters charge that any criticism of Israel is anti-Semitic. I've spent a lot of time covering white nationalism.
The thing with Candace is that she started to dabble in just full-on Holocaust denialism. So it seems pretty obvious that that she started dipping into just full-on anti-Semitism. Like, you know, if you're doing Holocaust denialism, I don't know if it's possible for somebody to do that without being motivated, at least in part, by anti-Semitism.
Nationalists at their rallies, trials, and in hundreds of hours of phone calls. Just a month after October 7th.
Maybe dabble was not the correct word. Yes, I take your point. I think it's fair to correct me on that.
Some, like this writer at a white nationalist website, began talking about how there was an unmet demand for criticism of Israel. And if the mainstream wouldn't fulfill it, extremists would. After listening to over 100 hours of Owens' podcast, certain terms kept catching my ear.
Trump is controlled by Zionists. I feel like we're an occupied nation. And now what's happening? Well, we have an occupied administration. There's no question. Trump is occupied by Zionists. Okay, he's completely impotent. He's completely powerless.
This is what ContraPoints was talking about, was virulent anti-Semites saw an opportunity after October 7th and during the military conflict, during the siege of Gaza. They saw an opportunity to jump in. If you just imagine everything she's saying here, just replace the word Zionist with Jews, she sounds indistinguishable from a Nazi. She just sounds like a full-on Nazi. Just listen to what she said and just imagine she said Jews instead of Zionists. And that's exactly what they did. That's exactly what they did. They used the legitimate grievances that people had with respect to what Israel was doing in Gaza, and then they turned it into something much, much darker than that.
Nation
would.
Like, yeah, just like every time she says Zionist here, just imagine she's saying the word Jews instead.
After listening to over 100 hours of Owens' podcast, certain terms kept catching my ear.
Trump is controlled by Zionists. I feel like we're an occupied nation. And now what's happening? Well, we have an occupied administration. There's no question. Trump is occupied by Zionists. Okay, he's completely impotent. He's completely powerless. He cannot.
Like, they figured out a way to launder pretty explicit anti-Jewish language and ideas just by simply using the word Zionist instead. That's why anytime somebody types the word Zionist now, I just get red flags. I'm just like, oh, I don't know.
Not say anything that goes against Israel or Bibi Netanyahu. He's letting them do whatever they want.
You can criticize Netanyahu without being anti-Israel, and you can criticize Israel without being anti-Semitic. But some of the themes, talking points, concepts you've used.
Yeah, she's zogging like crazy zogging here. Yeah.
In your criticism of Israel, I'm very familiar with from covering white nationalists for 10 years. It's very unsettling for me to hear things like you saying our government is occupied by Zionists, Trump is occupied by Zionists, we're an occupied nation. Because like, there's literally a term that's like an 80s, 90s term from white nationalism, ZOG, Zionist occupied government. It's their idea that Jews control the world. And I'm wondering, like, are you intentionally referencing those kind of themes?
Wait, just to slow us down. Are you accusing me of white nationalist rhetoric? Because I do have to have a little bit of a giggle about that first.
Well, that's, I mean, to me.
A little bit. A little bit. Yeah. Just a tad. Yeah. She became that episode of Chappelle Show. Candace Owens, you know, starting like around a couple of years ago. She started, was it 2 years ago? Was it 3 years ago? But at some point she started, her rhetoric started very closely resembling the exact same rhetoric that we hear from anti-Semitic, anti-Jewish white nationalist groups.
Me, I'm also like, they'd be no fan of yours.
It's silly. But this is one of the things where I feel like it's such a lesson for CNN. This is why nobody watches it anymore. I mean, it's like you're sitting across from a black person. You're like, I've learned about white nationalism, and you're using white nationalism.
Like, I know them. I've been to their rallies. I've read all their texts.
I get it.
I mean, that's just textbook identity politics, right? Like, you invoke identity politics to avoid the substance of the critique. Nobody invokes identity politics faster than conservatives. In 2025, they're so quick to go there. They'll do stuff like Trump will nominate, you know, like a black woman to his cabinet or like a woman to his cabinet. And then we saw this happen like 1,000 times with Trump, where he would have somebody in his cabinet, and then liberals or the left would kind of go into this person's history and find out that they were just like awful people who did awful things, and they would oppose the appointment in the cabinet. And then right wingers every time would be like, oh, I'm sorry, you opposed the first black woman to ever be, the secretary of blah, blah, blah. They do it so much these days.
Now, I'm so glad you're educated. But this is when it's like, put it in a book and anybody will say it. It's like, it's just at a certain point, you have to use your eyes and go, is Candace Owens promoting white nationalist rhetoric? Okay.
Why would our eyes help us with that analysis? Why would our eyes be the thing that helps us with that analysis? Wouldn't it be technically, I guess, if we're reading something that she wrote? But it's more that we would listen to our ears and listen to the stuff that she's saying. But she's saying, my skin is black, therefore the accusation is silly.
Immediately no. So what else could it be? Could it be that actually Zionism is what it actually represents?
What does that mean? Like,
Zionism is a political philosophy. Okay?
Zionist occupied government.
If you look into the history, yes, I believe we are a Zionist occupied government, and we're not the.
She's like, it's preposterous that I'm echoing white nationalist language. Here, let me invoke very specifically white nationalist rhetoric.
The only one. Okay. Yes. And I take it to the bank. If you need to walk out of here and say Candace Owens is a white nationalist for you to be able to digest it, then that's fine. You have to do that in your own time. But what I will say is I stand by every statement that I made, and I want to double down on it. Okay. America is occupied by Zionists.
The Zionist occupied government meme is so old, it predates memes. Here's the Wikipedia entry. Here's an archive of the most fascist board on 4chan, over 450,000 results. Here are the results from the old school white nationalist message board Stormfront. There are academic books about it. There are crank books about it. It was mentioned in a congressional hearing in the 90s.
Did they define what they meant by Zionist occupied government?
The government of the United States of America.
Occupied by whom?
The Jewish community.
There's another theory she talks about, the Khazar Empire.
Yeah, the Khazarians just decided to pretend they were Jewish, according to their research in the 8th century.
The Khazar theory is an obscure conspiracy theory suggesting that Ashkenazi Jews, those of Eastern European descent, are not the true Jewish people, but instead are descended from a Turkic people who converted about 1,000 years ago. It's been widely discredited by geneticists and historians, but the idea persists because anti-Semites find it makes useful propaganda when denying Jewish claims to Israel.
I talked to 5 current and former white nationalists about several of the concepts you talk about. The Khazar conspiracy theory, which is this idea that Ashkenazi Jews are descended from this Turkic people, people in...
It's not a conspiracy.
It is disputed.
It's not disputed. It was written by them in their own books, and they got rid of their books.
It was written by a Jewish person.
Not a Jewish person, an Israeli. And he was awarded
DNA evidence,
and he started a department at Tel Aviv University, and they've never taken his award back. Okay, you can't just. This is what I mean.
But
you can't just
modern science now.
Modern science. Okay, the same people that control the science are the people that are writing the books. Their own history book.
I don't even. Wait, what does that even mean? God, she's fucking full on batshit insane. This woman.
Book said we are the Khazars. A magic empire didn't disappear in the 8th century.
This is what
I'm talking about. Jewish people. Ashkenazi Jews, just so we can, this who is they thing has got to stop. I'm talking about Ashkenazi Jews. I'm talking about the people that established Israel as a nation.
Owens also talks about a group called the Frankists, a heretical Jewish sect that did exist beginning in Eastern Europe in the 1700s. They had weird sex rituals. Some conspiracy theorists claim Frankists are an ongoing cult that has infiltrated the highest levels of society and manipulates world events. One of the most persistent anti-Semitic conspiracy theories.
Everywhere I look, I'm starting to try to chase this Frankist movement. Where is it? Its tentacles are everywhere.
Owens claims there are current practicing Frankists in the government right now, a claim for which there is no evidence.
Does Trump? Does our State Department?
No,
do you think they're controlled by Frankists?
What I said to you is you can pick your lane in terms of the people who would get behind and support a man who raped children.
What?
Are these people being blackmailed? Are these people terrified? Or are these people psychopaths? You can sort them into those buckets. I don't really have the time to. My What I'm here to tell you is what I actually believe.
These people all say that you're doing a speed run through like old school white nationalist conspiracy
All right,
theories.
well, then I guess I'm a white nationalist.
I'm not saying you're a white nationalist.
then
I'm
what are you saying?
these are anti-Semitic conspiracy theories that have long been a propaganda tactic to delegitimize Jews, to make them seem like a scary, secretive cabal that is controlling it.
There are tons of Jewish people who are speaking out against what's happening in Israel. And I do believe people in Israel who founded Israel, people like Theodore Herzl, were actually Frankists.
We talked about Frankists a lot for a total of 8 minutes and 25 seconds.
So yeah, I think this cult still exists. That's what I'm telling you.
In our government.
At the higher, yeah, absolutely.
Do you think it
The deep state
motivates
for sure?
Zionism? Do you think it is a motivation for Zionism?
Well, I think it's weird that so many Zionists I know keep defending children being raped. Doesn't make me comfortable.
What? Who did what now?
Who is defending children being
Any
raped?
person that is defending Jeffrey Epstein.
I want to look at this more big picture.
Who's defending Jeffrey Epstein?
Right. So people have accused you of like your criticism of the war in Gaza as being motivated by anti-Semitism, which you deny. Can you look at it from a different perspective? Like, are you delegitimizing criticism of the war in Gaza by tying it to these conspiracy theories about like Frankists and things that
I didn't tie it to those conspiracies. What's happening in Gaza is wrong, and any person that can't acknowledge that is either being.
Just want to revisit. See, Hutch, isn't you can't deny Owens is. I never. Wait, I'm confused. I never said Candace Owens was reasonable. I guess I don't understand that comment.
Blackmailed is either a psychopath or they're fearful for their life. What's happening in Gaza, I can see with my own eyes. It's not a conspiracy theory. And by calling everything a conspiracy theory doesn't make it so.
I feel like you actually got more careful with your language, because when I first started listening, I'd be like, who's they, Candace? You'd be like, they want you to believe this. They want you to believe that.
Why do you say who is they?
Exactly.
It's a word. Like, okay, so why do you
But I know I'm not the only one, because you addressed it on one of your podcasts. You're like, you guys are always saying, who's they? Well, I mean, Israel, not Jews.
But like, it's just, they is a word. They is a word. So like, I don't need to always like say they. Like, it's just a weird, it's like, this is one of these psychology tactics where you're like, who is they? Who is they? And it's like.
Because it sounds like you're saying.
Well, when you say they, you need to be specific.
Jews.
Does the word they mean Jews?
When you're talking about Jews, yes.
But if I'm not talking about Jews, then they doesn't mean Jews. When I say they want us to believe this or they want us to believe that, and you hear Jews, that's your own derangement, right? If I want to say something about Jews, I'll say it. If I want to say something about Israel, I will say it. If I want to, just like when I want to say something about Black people, I'll say it. When I was saying during BLM, they want us to believe, nobody said, do you mean Jews? And so again, it's one of these trash tactics to make people fearful to speak. If I want to say Jews, I will say Jews. I don't fear saying Jews. When I say Zionists run the media, I mean Zionists run the media. People that support the political ideology of Israel run the media. Any other things that I can help clarify?
Are you familiar with this like very long-standing trope?
Couldn't give a shit about a trope. Literally, please don't even go down the line. It's so boring for me. It is so racist trope, anti-Semitic tropes, all strategies to get us fearful to speak. I want the world to know.
I'm telling you, these white nationalists, Candace, like, I'm not, like, seriously.
I have to tell you something also. You're white, so if the white nationalists are here in the room with you right now,
no, I
should
talked
be
to them
more
on the
fearful.
phone and they laugh.
Okay, because
including one you interviewed.
By the way,
Luke Fuentes.
They should laugh because what you
they laugh at the tropes that you are putting out. They're like, that is lowbrow stuff.
Okay.
These are people who, 3 of them, were literally doing Nazi salutes 10 years ago.
Okay.
And they are laughing at some of those tropes you put out because they think it's lowbrow and too far out there.
I don't
it's
know.
too crazy for people who threw up Nazi salutes.
Okay.
You are like putting out into the world this like connection between these like really ugly ideas and criticism of a war that can be.
You know what, you guys, Candace Owens must be a nightmare of a romantic partner. Like an absolute nightmare. Like if you're having conflict, she must be just the worst partner ever at resolving conflict. There's nothing but like passive aggressiveness, like stonewalling, you know, just like doing all the fucking super toxic communication strategies, you know?
Valid. I said what I meant. If you'd like me to clarify any statements that I made, I'd be happy to do it. But trying to do some roundabout way of being like, well, Nick Fuentes held a Nazi symbol and he says it. I don't care about what Nick Fuentes said. I don't care about your feelings.
Well, you
I
have
think
changed your mind.
you're trying.
You changed your mind about Israel.
Yeah, I did. But here's the thing. I think you're trying like a hatchet job at psychology, and I don't want to waste your time.
It's not about psychology.
Well, I know, but like,
this
I
is
don't.
about like
I want to help
reality.
focus you. You're not going to be able to get even 1 inch.
Like she's actually the worst.
My perspectives on Israel. You're not going to be able to get me to believe or invest in some trope that I am saying that what they are doing is wrong and that the government is demonic. So if you have anything else you'd like to talk about, I don't want you to just spend your whole hour, you know, trying to draw blood when you're not going to get it.
When you say, you have also said Israel is a demonic nation.
Yes.
Okay.
Demonic.
People,
I've said that several times.
You mean this literally, right?
Like literally possessed by a demon, okay, to shed that much blood and then to have people that willfully gaslight people about that. It can be only a demon, a full satanic possession has to descend. And that's what's happening. So anything else I can help clarify?
She is like actually the worst.
Long history of being provocative. Her upcoming book is called Make Him a Sandwich. And earlier this year, Owens gained a tremendous amount of fame with an 8-part series claiming Brigitte Macron was born a man, that she was actually her own brother, and stole Brigitte's identity in the 80s. The Macrons denied it, Owens doubled down, and they sued her for defamation in July. Her series builds suspicion through association, with a wide cast of characters from a fashion designer to an ancient Roman statue dug up in the Macron's hometown. But for her core claim that Brigitte isn't a woman, there's no proof.
Why does it matter?
It matters because it is government corruption. It's the same reason the Epstein story matters, and it matters because children were harmed.
But you're not accusing Brigitte of harm.
Grassroots hegemon with $5. She will carry water for Fuentes, who 15 hours ago called her a glorified DEI hire. LOL, what a cuck. Wait, what? He said what now?
Actually, Macron, it's statutory rape, and that's what we're going to court over. So yeah.
You're not going to court over the fact that she got together with Emmanuel Macron when he was 15. They admit that.
I'm saying that actually Emmanuel was 14 and it was statutory rape.
The Macrons say this is false, and that they met when Brigitte was 39 and Emmanuel was 15. The lawsuits.
That's an interesting situation.
Says they informed Owens it was false in a December letter.
Do you think you'll be victorious in court?
Yeah, because truth is a defense against defamation, and I'm telling the truth.
We asked the White House for comment on Owens' claims about President Trump. The White House did not respond. Turning Point also did not respond to a request for comment. Candace Owens reflects the reality of the new media ecosystem we live in. Whether you think that's great or terrible, it's the way it is. There's a temptation to treat figures like her as fringe players not worthy of attention. But we do that at our own peril.
Was that it? I think that is. Man, you guys, I mean, I knew that Candace Owens was like completely Looney Tunes, but I don't know if I knew if it was that bad. I regret to inform you guys that I need to go lay down. Boy, am I firmly in my elderly years. I would really love to stay live for longer today. I thought I would go for like a full stream, but I took my Vyvanse, I drank a shitload of caffeine, and there's just, my body is just not fucking doing well right now. This might be, well, this is one of the faster streams I've done. If you guys weren't here for the beginning of the stream, I had blood work done, and my thyroid levels, whatever that means, are low. Which can make somebody feel like super fatigued. But like honestly, my eyelids feel fucking heavy right now. Like I need, like I'm fighting to stay awake, which is, that's not right. At 10:30 a.m., I usually have so much energy. I don't know if I need to start going to bed earlier or what I need to do, but this has been very disruptive. It's been very frustrating. This whole situation is very frustrating because it is fucking with my work a little bit. So apologies for that, guys. I wanted to stay live longer, but I just can't. I need to go lay down. So thank you guys for tuning in, and I will be doing 2 streams tomorrow, not 1, 2 streams. Assuming I can keep my fucking eyes open. We'll do a stream in the morning, we'll take a little break, and then we'll do a stream for the podcast. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.